No way. Holy shit. Hold on. Yep, he will do 15 days. Oh, guys. Yeah, I just got a message from Hatman. He will do 15 days. I'm going to call Hatman, but I don't have like a line set up or anything like that.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, okay. I'll try to do this quick. It was insane. They had it locked down, like I told you, with the phone. Nobody could bring in electronics. They had 3 uniformed policemen, 2 non-uniform cops just against the wall. Then they had a bailiff right behind the toe. I'm just going to look through my notes.
Okay.
Toe walks in, Tukey got there, Nick and the advocate, they all got there about 11:30. Paul Shea was there. I only could briefly talk to him. There weren't as many people for this one as the June 25th hearing. Prosecutor came in, she sat by herself. Oh, they kind of started off, went over a couple housekeeping issues, and they immediately started with Kayla's victim impact statement. And I'll tell you a couple of things. In it, she called him a monster and a manipulator, divulged private stories which only benefited him, would go online to mock her by pantomiming, sending her nude pics to people. This is a good one. Aaron Imholte has stripped me down to the entire world. I can no longer go on for... anyways, just stripped her down for the entire world. She's not comfortable going out in public. As she gets near St. Cloud, her body trembles. She's on the verge of passing out. She said, he has stolen my voice and I want it given back. And the whole time she was reading her victim impact statement, Toe had a single piece of paper in front of him, looking down, not interacting with his attorney. And the funniest thing is, also on the desk was a box of Kleenex directly in front of the Toe. You know, why he would need Kleenex, I have no idea. The prosecutor initially asked for 45 days in jail total. Just talk about the number of police reports, total violations. It definitely crossed the line of harassment. And she went on to say how Toe had mocked a $50 fine. And one of the ways that he mocked it was by asking Nick if he could borrow $50 to pay for it. That he'd instructed Gino and Kino, or whatever the hell their names are, Kiki, to talk about it and encourage others to talk about it on his program.
Yep.
Talked about the anniversary show, got a lot of attention, and basically it came down to the prosecutor said Toe was present and active at the anniversary show, and he was in control of it. I'm kind of scrambling here, but the whole time outside of the victim impact statement, Nick and Kayla held hands. Yeah, Toe had complete control of what was said at the live show. Oh, and then you know that text that Toe put in the affidavit?
Yeah.
The prosecutor said the text had no date. It wasn't clear what they were referring to. You know, it could have been sent months ago.
Right.
It could have been sent yesterday.
Yep.
They said Toe had complete disregard for the court's order. Oh, they initially started talking about how Toe needed a substance abuse assessment because so often he's drinking his show online and all he talks about is how hammered he was.
Yeah.
They didn't give him that, but the prosecutor wanted it. But it was funny, she said about how he talks about how hammered he was.
It's true.
so that kind of wrapped up the prosecution side. Then Toe's lawyer went, and it was pretty disgusting. The first thing he starts in, victim impact statements problematic, full of unproven allegations. In the impact statement, Kayla had referenced the Iowa DJ and the abuse that he had given to April and Ashley.
Right.
Toe's lawyer was saying that has nothing to do with this case. It's only included to intended to make the statement more impactful, but it has nothing to do with this case. Kept going back to the only crime Aaron's being punished for today is sending a partially exposed nipple picture to just one person. He kept saying he sent it to just one person. The state doesn't have the pic. The pic doesn't exist. The only person to bring up that brought up the polycule initially was Toe's attorney. Toe's attorney argued that since 6/25, Toe has done nothing except 100% follow every court order. You can believe that.
Wow.
Yeah. The live show again was a problem, and they tried. Toe's attorney said it was secretly recorded by an agent. No, Toe said this. It was secretly recorded by an agent of a person that he has a HRO against. So Toe's implication was Melton ordered the secret recording of the HRO.
Right.
Or the recording of the live show. Have Sean do that. When arguing for a lenient penalty, Toe's attorney said he's the sole source of income. He has 3 kids. Only income in the house, pays child support, health insurance. Not fair to Toe to send him to jail. This was a good one. When they were arguing about how he'd serve his sentence, apparently Stearns County never has offered work release, or something's happened with the program, but currently they don't offer work release. So they were saying they're trying to figure out a deal. Can he do it on weekends or whatever? But they have until October 17th to determine when he can, how he'll serve the sentence.
Wow. So they did, I guess, so he was able to walk out.
He walked out, yep.
Did he, is this for a misdemeanor or a felony?
Gross misdemeanor. The felony was dismissed.
Okay.
Then it just got into this weird argument where Todd Peterson argued that Toe never got due process on the violation of release, violating the conditions of release. He said he never got due process, and the judge was kind of surprised. And what Toe's lawyer was arguing was, well, sure, people reported all these violations. Are you just going to take their word at it? Aren't we going to have a hearing to discuss it? Why would you just take random people's accusations? And the judge said, are you requesting a hearing? And she was kind of pissed. Normally, don't you do this before sentencing? She goes, are you requesting a hearing? And what it boiled down to is said, no, Toe's lawyer said, no, I'm not requesting a hearing. I want to hear what the sentence is. Then I'll decide if I want to fight it. And
wow.
Oh, God, it was insane. And the judge said, we're here for sentencing, not to debate the validity of these violations. She said, never, as a judge or a lawyer for years, I've never participated in something like that. This should have been, made prior to sentencing.
Right.
You know, and Toll kept saying, and they called it a contested hearing, you know, I guess where they wanted to argue the validity of the validations.
Yeah. I'm sure he'll try to appeal it.
Well, the judge just said, you know, you don't get it both ways. You don't get to hear my sentence and then decide what to do, okay? Judge said the HRO was a separate procedure, had no impact on today's hearing. Then Toll read the epiphany.
Oh my gosh, did he?
Yeah, it was unbelievable. And it started out with, in 2023, I entered into a degenerate, toxic, wrong relationship that never should have happened. I've regretted it every day since. I've gone to therapy, became a Christian, and been redeemed by my Savior, Jesus Christ.
Oh my gosh.
It was insane.
Oh my gosh.
And out of all this, he just wants to teach his son to be a better man. Then he said something like, you know, and I'm kind of paraphrasing, but, you know, you get that one of the first paragraph about being redeemed by his Savior.
Yeah.
Then he said, you know, words can't express how sorry I am. Oh, get a load of this. Words can't express how sorry I am. We loved each other at one time.
Wow.
Those feelings were betrayed by my actions. That's a quote.
Wow.
I can't express how sorry I am. We loved each other at one time. Those feelings were betrayed by my actions. And then Toll went into the victim impact statement part of it. And he said, because of my actions, I have had my faith tested, my optimism challenged, my reputation's been tainted, I've been laughed about, and that is my reality. Let's see. Then he said, if the court shows me mercy today, Gino Boscanti will never work with me again.
Oh. Gino.
My picture.
If the court shows me mercy, Gino Boscanti won't work with me again.
This is going to be interesting.
Then while Toll was speaking, he said he started to bring up the reasons behind why he had to take an HRO against Nick. The prosecutor objected, then they discussed it, and the ruling basically was the judge said, I want everybody to feel like they've had the right to speak, so I'm going to let him say what he wants, then I'll rule on if it's admissible. So they let Toll go. Oh, and Toll said the reason he had to take out a HRO against Nick was because of that Nick had disseminated bedroom photos of him.
Oh, come on.
Yep.
Come on. So the Hackamania photos, he's pissed at that.
Photos,
the topless photos.
And then this is kind of a paraphrase, but it was, I don't know if he said beg, but he's like, Judge, don't take a father from a son from their parents.
Oh my God.
Oh God, it was, all those analogies or whatever.
Mm-hmm. You probably read it on the back of a shirt somewhere.
Right, exactly. And then are you ready for this one?
I'm ready.
He is a changed man, not a threat to anyone. And at this point, he's tearing up.
Oh my.
And are you ready?
I'm ready.
He's tearing up. And all praise be to Jesus Christ, and may God have mercy on my soul.
Oh my God.
That is a direct quote. That was his last words. Toll and his attorney stood then for the sentencing. Again, the felony was dismissed. And here's what the sentence was. 364 days in jail, credit for 2 days served, actually served 15 days total, 349 stayed if he meets conditions, 2 years of supervised probation.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, supervised probation sucks.
Yeah, that's going to be really difficult for him, especially if it's something where they can't drink, or I mean, I don't know what they are. I'll have to see.
Well, right, it could be anything. I don't know if I even noted. There's a $50 fine plus court library fees, so probably 150, 200. Then there was an additional $1,000 fine he has to pay because of some, whatever, I don't know, but it was, the 50 that we've all heard about. Then she got him for another 1,000.
Wow. Ordered
him to take some type of diagnostic assessment and pay for it and follow all recommendations. He has to complete a cognitive skills program.
Oh.
And I think it was more, on your thought process or whatever, and he has to pay for that. Went over following the no contact order, directly or indirectly talking, remain law abiding. This is a kicker, has to provide a DNA sample.
He does?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't, maybe because it was kind of a sex crime.
Right, yeah. It'd have to be since the felony was tossed out.
All of the fines, he had the $5,000 credit with the court or whatever.
Right.
All the fines come out of that first, and then whatever's left over, he gets back. Told the prosecutor wanted the 15 days to start today, and the judge said, and Toll's attorney wanted time for him to report. The judge said for a gross misdemeanor, you really never send someone to jail that same day. You give them a report day. It's not standard operating procedure to send them directly to jail. So what the decision was, and so Toll's lawyer has until October 7th to write up a schedule of the days that he wants, primarily weekends. The prosecutor has the 14th to respond to that. And then on October 17th, he has to report by October 17th, 3 p.m. There weren't that many people here. Toll had the charcoal suit, maroon shirt, gray socks. Michaela looked great. I just waved to Nick. I didn't interact with them. They sat in the front row behind the prosecutor. Oh, and then at the end, when the judge dismissed everybody, I heard Toll either say to the bailiff or his attorney that he was going to wait for everybody to leave. I think I mentioned Paul Shea was there, Tukey.
Yep.
Skizzo Sean. He is actually a nice guy in person. On video, he comes off as an ass. But let's see. That's about it.